Beginning. The battlefield failure. The war against the Rethtrin hive had stretched across half a dozen star systems. The insects spread like wildfire, overrunning civilian outposts and dissolving defenses with acidic swarms. The Zorth vanguard was deployed as the first line of counterattack. Commander the Lev stood at the front of the strike team, armor humming with power, weapon charged. His squad revered him. The Lev was the symbol of Zorth discipline. Calculated, controlled, untouchable. The plan was simple. Breach the hive fortress. Destroy the neural queen. Collapse the tunnel network. But nothing ever went according to plan when the Rethtrin adapted. As they advanced, the ground trembled. The insects burst up from beneath, thousands of them, shrieking. Thalov's armor analyzed threats instantly. His visor filled with moving targets. Forward, he commanded. Plasma fire lanced the dark. Then, a deafening spike of static ripped through his neural link. The Lev stiffened. His armor froze mid-stride. Warning. Neural interface lost. System lockdown initiated. No, he roared, but the suit wouldn't register his commands. He toppled backward, unable to move. His squad didn't notice, too busy fighting for their lives. A Rethtrin brute barreled toward him, mandibles open. The Lev braced for death. But someone else reached him first. A blurred figure jumped between him and the brute, wielding nothing but a human-standard electroblade. SZZZZZ. The brute collapsed. The Lev blinked, stunned. The figure turned. A human. A woman. Dust-covered, breathing hard. Her uniform bore the markings of the Concord Engineering Corps. She saluted with the blade. You look like you could use a hand, metal man. He stared at her. Your presence is unauthorized. This is a Zorth battlefront. And you're immobilized, she shot back. So maybe, just maybe, listening is a good idea. He tried to stand. His armor remained frozen. She sighed. Thought so. The human knelt beside him and placed her hand on his armor's chest plate. The moment her skin made contact, the Lev felt his entire suit jolt awake. Warning override disabled, human biosignature identified, control restored. His limbs unfroze. He sat up slowly, staring at her. What did you do? She grinned. Turned it off and back on again. He scowled. That is not possible. My armor cannot be affected by. Another pulse of static slammed into him. His armor froze again. The human touched it. It reactivated. He stared at her hand as if it were a weapon. How? He growled. She shrugged. I'm Mara Quinn. Engineer. Humans have weird effects on your tech. Never figured out why. But it works. The Lev had never felt so conflicted. Humans were the galaxy's general-purpose problem. Unpredictable, fragile, obnoxiously lucky. Yet this one had just saved his life. Twice. The battlefield roared around them as another wave of insects charged. Mara dropped to one knee beside him. Can you fight? If you stay close, he said reluctantly. Apparently. Good, she said, pulling her blade. Because we're surrounded. Middle, the core of the hive. For the next 20 minutes, they carved through insect swarms, Thalov's armor functioning only when Mara maintained physical contact every time it glitched. It was humiliating, but also strangely comforting. Her stabilizing touch restored him repeatedly, like she was grounding a circuit he didn't realize had been overloaded for years. When they reached the hive fortress's sealed gate, the Lev slammed his fist into it. The metal groaned. Mara whistled. You're strong. Weak armor, he replied. Faulty, apparently. She rolled her eyes. Your neural interface hardware uses quantum-tuned synapse resonance. Rethtrin emit electromagnetic spikes when they're close. Their queen? 10 times stronger. Enough to fry your neural mapping. You understand Zorth Tech? He demanded. Understand? I could rebuild your suit with duct tape. He blinked. What is duct tape? Magic human binding material. I do not believe you. You will. She cracked her knuckles. Step aside. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small cube human made. This is a Mark IV field disruptor. You guys banned these, remember? They destabilize power grids, he said. Dangerous. Illegal. And fun. Before he could protest, she slapped the cube onto the gate. It flashed. Boom. The gate collapsed inward. The Lev stared. Human technology is reckless. And yours is way too cautious. Bad combo. Yet it rescued me. Yet it rescued you, she echoed softly. They stepped inside. Humidity washed over them. The hive tunnels pulsed with organic machinery. Acid dripped from the walls. A constant thrumming vibrated through the ground, heartbeat of the living structure. The Lev scanned the area. Queen is down 2 levels. We destroy her. The hive collapses. Then let's get your metal but there. He hesitated. Why do you help? Humans have no stake here. Her expression softened. Everybody has a stake when a hive like this expands. I've seen what happens when the Concord arrives too late. Her tone carried a weight he recognized. Loss. A shared burden. He nodded. Then we fight as one. She smirked. Now you're talking. Descent into darkness. The deeper they went, the worse the interference became. Thalav's suit would freeze every few minutes. Each time, Mara's touch brought it back. The pattern was undeniable. Zorth Tech should not respond to human biosignatures. Their physiologies were incompatible. Unless, Mara, he said suddenly, your species, has your genome been modified? She laughed. What? No. I'm baseline human. No augments. No implants. Just stubborn biology. He frowned. Your biology stabilizes quantum resonance. Impossible. Humans are full of surprises. Yes, he admitted quietly. You are. They reached the Queen's chamber, a massive cavern glowing sickly green. The Queen rose in the center, towering above them, encased in chitinous armor. Her psychic scream rattled every bone in Thalav's body. Mara winced. She's emitting high-frequency bursts. That's why your suit keeps crashing. The Lev activated his plasma cannon. We must destroy her core. Mara pointed upward. Those conduits feed the hive's neural network. If we sever them, she loses control. Too high, he said. I cannot reach while grounded. You can if I boost you. You weigh 1/3 my mass. And you will break. Try me, she said. He stared at her. She wasn't joking. He stepped forward. Very well. Mara braced, interlacing her fingers. The Lev placed one armored foot in her hands. She heaved upward. To his shock, she didn't buckle. Her strength wasn't Zorth level, but she held long enough for him to leap. He soared upward, slicing through the conduits with plasma bursts. Below, the Queen shrieked. Keep going. Mara yelled. He landed beside her as the hive chamber destabilized. The Queen staggered, losing control of her swarm. The Lev raised his cannon for the finishing strike. Then his armor locked completely. EMP interference critical. System failure. Tendrils shot toward him, aiming to impale him. Mara didn't hesitate. She sprinted to him and slapped her hand onto his chest plate. His suit roared back to life. He fired. The Queen's had exploded in a burst of white heat. The cavern shook violently, collapsing. Run! Mara shouted. They sprinted through imploding tunnels, dodging debris and acidic geysers. Near the exit, A massive chunk of ceiling collapsed. The Lev shoved Mara aside, but the debris crushed him instead. Darkness swallowed everything, ending the touch that changed everything. The Lev regained consciousness slowly. His armor was completely dead, his body trapped beneath rubble. He could barely breathe. Mara knelt beside him, covered in dust and blood. "You're alive," she whispered, voice shaking. "I am trapped."
He winced.
"I cannot move." She placed her hand gently on his armor. Nothing happened. His heart sank. "Mara, my suit, it does not respond." She bit her lip. "It's too damaged. The neural matrix is fried." He closed his eyes. A warrior's death, buried beneath the destruction of a hive. Not a terrible end, but not what he had hoped. "Mara," he said quietly, "leave me. Save yourself." "Absolutely not. You cannot lift this debris. Maybe not all at once." She grinned weakly. "But I can try something stupid." She pulled out her toolkit. "Your suit responds to my biosignature. That means something in my nervous system stabilizes the interface. So, if I reroute your power channels through my biometrics." "That is insane." "Human specialty." She connected wires directly from the chest plate to a portable transmitter. The moment she touched the transmitter and his armor simultaneously, his suit fully powered up. Systems restored. Structural supports activated. Servos engaged. He stood, lifting the rubble off himself in one swift motion. Mara collapsed to her knees, exhausted. He caught her instantly. "You should not risk your life for me," he said. She smirked. "Says the guy who jumped into a collapsing hive." He looked at her, really looked. Humans were fragile.
Soft. Small.
And yet, this one had matched him step for step, risk for risk, courage for courage. "Commander," she asked softly. He bowed his head. "I owe you my life. And more." She blushed. "Just doing my job." "No," he said firmly. "You did far more than that." He placed a hand, unarmored now, over hers. "Your touch saved me." She smiled. "Guess humans aren't so useless after all." He shook his head. "Not useless.
Not weak.
Not inferior." A pause. "You are extraordinary." Mara laughed. "Careful. You're starting to sound like you like humans." He met her gaze. "I like you." She froze, cheeks warming. Before she could respond, his armor pinged. "Extraction team inbound." As the dust settled and rescue ships descended, the Lev realized something. His armor had always been his greatest strength. But today, it had only worked because of her. Because some strengths weren't built of metal or circuitry. Some were human. And some had to be touched to be awakened.